Okay, yesterday, boys and girls, this was your assignment. It was multiplying fractions. We did notes about multiplying fractions. So what I did is I went in and the video, my recording from yesterday, I put in yesterday's assignment. The IXL yesterday, I was like, oh, you guys, you don't have to do those. If you did, it's great, extra practice. Then you were to play the Who Wants to Be a Hundredaire, and then this was your assignment. And I apologize if I didn't make it obvious enough for everybody. So these kiddos, they turned theirs in, all right? And so that still leaves quite a few students who did not turn in their math assignment from yesterday. If you are wondering, what did it look like? I will show you. I think, 1 second, because I just had it open. Hang on. Yesterday's assignment looked like this. This is what you were supposed to submit to Schoology, okay? So it was multiplying fractions with the turkeys, sorting them, and you were supposed to submit them to here, okay? Today's assignment is gonna be just a teeny little bit different, okay? So today's assignment is called multiplying fractions / mixed numbers. So Jalen, you're asking how to submit it. It's just like submitting any other Google slide, right? So you do the submit button on the side, and then I would name it like your name, multiplying fractions matching. So that was the name of it, okay? Multiplying fractions matching. So just like you submit any other Google Slides assignment, you'll submit it here, okay? So if you have questions with that after this, let me know and I can help walk you through the steps. So today, boys and girls, we have some notes to do. Okay, so 1 second here. I'm gonna stop sharing just for a second so that I can make sure. Thank you for being patient. Share screen. Today's assignment looks like this: multiplying fractions / mixed numbers. These are the notes we are going to go through. I'm going to use my iPad for it. Okay, so we're going to go through some notes. There's this multiplying mixed numbers tic-tac-toe that if like you and a friend want to play, you could. And so if you want to play it with like a classmate, this is what you should do. You click on it. You make your copy. Okay. And so let's say Ella and I want to play. Okay. So let's say Ella and I want to play. So I'll make the copy. And then what I'll do is I'll click the share button. And then I will type in, excuse me, sorry, my nose is really itchy and stuffy. I would type in Ella's name. So Ella, is she gonna pop up? Ha, there she is. So let's say, oh, I want to play with Ella. So if I share it with Ella, send it to her, Ella would be able to check her email. And then her and I could work on the very same Google Slides. And so like I could be X's, she could be O's or whatever. And how you play is in order to get a spot, you have to solve the problem. So if I want this spot, I have to solve this math problem, get it correct, and then I would drag my piece over. Okay. So that is completely optional. You do not have to play that. Okay. But if you want to play something with a friend like that, you totally can. Yes, we are going to write down notes in our notebooks today. Okay. So while I get it popped up on the screen, why don't you grab your notebooks? Okay. Perfect. So iPad, that's what I need to do. So today is multiplying mixed numbers or fractions with mixed numbers. Okay, so this is one thing that kids always are like, wait, what? What do I do? But then once they know the trick, then they're like, oh yeah, easy peasy. So before we jump into multiplying mixed numbers, let's take a second to review how to change mixed numbers to improper, because honestly, that's the key to multiplying mixed numbers. So if I look at my 2/3, not 2/3, I'm sorry, 2 3/5. So this first fraction, what I want you guys to write down in your notebook is write down change to improper, and then write down 2 3/5. So in your math notebook, write down change to improper, 2 3/5. Okay. So Jasmine already has the answer. Okay. And so to get that answer, this is what you do, right? So if I make my numbers bigger, it's easier to show. So if I make my numbers giant, 2 3/5, what I do is I start here and I say, okay, 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. And then I just keep my denominator of 5. Okay. Remember, we talked about making fractions mad. Remember that? We said make it mad, which means, which I say is multiply, add, and then denominator. Okay. I was just going to say it's garbage day. So when the garbage truck comes by, I was like, oh, my dogs are probably going to bark. And then they literally just started barking. Woo. So, what I was saying is you have to make your fractions mad. You multiply, add, keep the denominator. Okay. So let's look at 4 2/7. So in your notebook, you're gonna do the same exact steps for 4 2/7. So 4 2/7. Literally the same steps. It's just different numbers. So I start here and do 7 times 4. I multiply. So 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 2 is 30. Keep my denominator, which is 7. Okay. It's literally the same steps. Multiply, add, keep your denominator. Multiply, add, keep your denominator. Multiply, add, keep your denominator. All day long, okay? So the only thing that changes is the actual numbers. So let's do one more. How about, let's do 3 5/8. So if we have 3 5/8, again, multiply, add, denominator. Multiply, add, denominator. Multiply, add, denominator. Multiply, add, denominator. Literally over and over and over. So 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. Keep your denominator, which is an 8. Okay. Same steps over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over. Okay. So now moving on to multiplying, which remember yesterday I showed you guys like the rectangle box method, like, oh, cut it into these pieces and cut it into these pieces and shade them and do this. And then you find your answer. And then you guys were like, well, we could just multiply straight across. And I said, yeah, that's the faster way. And so same thing, only this, when you see this, you're like, wait, what do I do with the whole numbers? Sometimes kids are like, oh, do I just do 2 times 1 is 2 and then multiply across? Well, that's not correct. Okay, so in your notebook, I want you to write this: multiplying mixed numbers. Then underneath it, write number 1, turn mixed numbers to improper. Number 2, multiply across. Type in a smiley face in the chat box once you have this written in your math section of your notebook. So multiply mixed numbers. Step 1, ouch, turn mixed numbers to improper. Step 2, multiply across. Give me a smiley face when you have that written nicely in your notebook. Frowny face. Smiley face. Somewhere, I'm not sure if that puckering face. You guys are funny. Ah, Ella found the emojis. Kale, did you get it written like 3 times? Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, I know still not everybody messaged. You know, you need to make sure you're paying attention, please. Okay? Like I've heard from Kale, Jasmine, Jayla, Jasmine, Summer, Kale, Ella, Arenda, Annalie, Kale, Ella, Kale. I know I'm missing kids. Like Ozzy, I didn't see your name. There's Brody, Trinity, nice. Sophia, I haven't seen you yet. Maybe you're just writing really, really nicely. Who else? Brayden, I haven't seen your message. Maverick, Diesel, Daniel. Get these notes written down. Thank you. All right, Kale, I need you to stop, bud. Thank you. Okay. Phew, that took way longer than expected. So now we can actually solve this math problem. So in your notebook, write down 2 1/3 times 1 3/7. And then, I mean, if I were a kid, I'd panic for a second, and that's okay, because then I'm going to say, oh, wait a second. I turn them into improper fractions, and then they'll be able to multiply easy peasy. So I'm going to start with the 2 1/3. And remember, make it mad. Multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. So if I multiply 3 times 2, I get 6. And then I add on my 1, I get 7. And I keep my denominator, which is thirds. Okay. Then, see, that was easy. Okay, not hard. Now let's do our next fraction, our mixed number. Remember, multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. So 7 times 1 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. And I keep my denominator. What's cool about multiplying is I can just multiply straight across. Okay, so I'm going to show you the just straight up multiply fractions. I will, multiply 7 times 10, which is 70. 3 times 7, which is 21. Okay. Now, Jasmine typed in, hey, 7 goes into 7 once. So she's already looking at that whole cross simplifying thing. So I'm going to show it to you. And let's do red. So your other option, which is like the shortcut way, which if you're feeling smart, you can figure this out. So 7 over 3 times 10 over 7. So what I see is, oh, 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 7 once. So what I'm doing is I'm simplifying those 7s by 7. Now, when I multiply straight across, 1 times 10 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. Now, boys and girls, which would you rather simplify, 10 thirds or 70 over 21? they're equal to each other. But yeah, if we start off with 10/3, it's a lot easier and a lot less work, okay? Because 10/3, I would just say, oh, 10 divided by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. So my final answer is 3 1/3. Okay. Now let's see if we get the same answer for 70/21. It should, right? So if we did this properly, we should get the same answer. So if I'm going to simplify 70/21, I'm going to take 70, divide it by 21, and it's like starting to sweat. Those are big numbers, right? So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, okay, 20, 40, 60, 80, probably only 3 times. So I'm going to say, let's do 3 times 21. And then I have to say, okay, that'd be 20, 40, 60, 63, I do believe. Oh, and then I have to subtract. So that's 7 left over. So I get 3 and 7/21. And then I have a heart attack because that's not what I got before. Why is 3 and 7/21 not the same, you guys? What do I have to do to my 7/21? Simplify. Yep, simplify. And so Jasmine knew it right away. She said, divide it by 7. So if I do divide by 7, that's when I end up with 2 1/3. No, 3 1/3. Sorry, 3 1/3. So I do get the final answer, right? I get the same answer. It's just when I do this way up here, right? The Christmassy looking one. If I do it this way, I do less work at the end, okay? And so if you just do this one, the straight up multiply, you're gonna end up with bigger numbers. You're gonna end up with bigger numbers here, which is gonna make the division a little bit harder, okay? Man, our notes look crazy. Let's do another one. Write this down in your math notebook, please. 2 2/3 times 1 4/5. Okay, so you're writing down 2 2/3, 1 4/5. Oh my gosh, my dogs are as bad as Alice. Okay, so we've got that written down. Now, first step, turn our mixed numbers into improper. So remember, multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. So I'm going to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Add my 2, so 6, 7, 8. So I have 8, and I keep my denominator of 3. Then I do my next fraction. Multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9, keep my denominator, which is fifths. I'm multiplying. Now, while I let my dogs in, tell me if any of these numbers can be cross-simplified. Hey, you're being rude and noisy. Okay. So a lot of people are saying, yep, we can, right? So when I look at it, I see the 3 and 9. Okay. So they have 3 and 9 have a 3 in common, okay? So if I divide 3 by 3, I get 1. If I divide 9 by 3, I get 3. So now it's 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 5 is 5. Now I need to simplify it. So I'm going to take 24 divided by 5. I know 5 times 4 is 20. I have 4 left over. Think back. This is your whole number, numerator, denominator. So my final answer is 4 4/5. Okay, 4 4/5. Okay. Next one, write this down in your notebook. 6 2/3 times 3 3/10. I want you to try doing it on your own. Send me a direct message, right? So send me the answer in like a direct message, a personal message in the chat box. Okay. So let's see how we do. Write these down. Turn them to improper, then multiply across. Okay, so here we go. 3 3/8 times 1 4/6. What we need to do is first change these mixed numbers into improper by making them add. Multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. So this is where knowing multiplication facts helps. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 3, so 24, 25, 26, 27. So it's one of those weird ones, 27 over my denominator of 8, right? Multiply, add, denominator, multiply, add, denominator. Now I do the same for the 1 4/6. So multiply, 6 times 1 is 6, add, plus 4 is 10, keep it over my denominator of 6. Now multiply straight across. 27 times 10, okay? Or you can cross simplify, which is what I did. So let's do it the straight way first. So 27 times 10 is 270. 6 times 8 is really great. It's 48. 48. Then I need to simplify. So if I do 270 divided by 48, oh, this is a big number. It's not fun. So 48 can't go into 2, 48 can't go into 27. So now it has to go into 270. So 48 is close to 50. So if I estimate, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would guess 5 times. Okay, so I'm going to guess 5 times. Right? Yeah, so 48 times 5. Why is everybody saying 2? 2 what? That doesn't make sense. Okay, Kale. Yeah, I'm going to do 5. So 48 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20. So I get 24. So if I put this here, 2, 4, 0, subtract 0, I get 30 left over. So then you guys, I have 5 and 30 over 48, which I can simplify. This is so much work. I can simplify by 2, and I get 15 over 24. Oh, and then I can simplify by 3, and I get 5/8. So my final answer is 5 5/8. Ooh, that was a lot of work. Okay. Okay, that was a lot of work. So watch when I show the like cross simplifying and how it makes it simpler. Okay. Yep. Diesel, you got it right. You were the one kid who got it right, buddy. So now I'm going to rewind a bit here. Diesel just pays attention, man. Just really pays attention. Okay. So watch this. I'm going to simplify. Okay. I know my 8 and my 10 are both divisible by 2. So that's what I'm going to do to those. So, right, this cross multiply, I'm dividing them both by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. So now when I multiply straight across, I'm going to have smaller numbers. Oh, did you guys know? 27 is divisible by 3 and 6 is divisible by 3. Did you guys know that? Yeah, divisibility rules, right? So if I take 27 divided by 3, I get 9. If I take 6 divided by 3, I get 2. So now if I do 9 times 5, oh, this is so much easier. 9 times 5 is 45. And 4 times 2 is 8. Oh, so much easier. Whew. Okay. So now we can do 45 divided by 8. That is much nicer. What? 5 times 8 is 40? So this is so much easier. Thank goodness. I'm left with a 5. So, oh, it's simplified even. How beautiful is that? 5 and 5/8. Wow. Way less work. Okay. Way less work. Okay. Now so the math assignment for today is in Schoology. It's on the sidebar. Schoology on the sidebar. It's called multiplying fractions / mixed numbers. So just remember, make these mixed numbers mad, then multiply straight across, and simplify. Okay. Yeah, I'm worried about you guys, but like we gotta just try it, see what happens. Okay, try your best, see what happens. If you need some help, I can help. I could do some like iExcel practice stuff with you guys, but I don't know. We just got to go for it. Okay.